Hello, everybody. During the following conversation with our friend, we lost connection a few times. The audio sounds a little scratchy in the beginning, but I assure you it gets better quickly. Thank you to all you beautiful people for listening to the Ting Ting Club. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Ting Ting Club. Go to tingtingclub.com and always remember to love each other.
Welcome back to the Ting Ting Club.
Welcome back.
Very special edition.
Yes.
Live from Thailand, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Loveless. He is a
Loveless.
writer, a musician, an artist, and a world traveler. Let's welcome Loveless to the program.
Welcome, Loveless.
What's up, brother?
Hey, thank you very much. Greetings from Thailand.
Yeah.
Doing
It's
good.
an honor to have you on the show, man.
I'm honored to be here, man. You guys are great.
Yeah. How's the weather there? What's going on over there?
It's hot. It's always hot, man. You know, every day. It's kind of like Central America. You know, I spent some time in Central America, but every day is Saturday and every day is summertime here, man. So
Yeah.
it's
Have
not.
you seen that monkey?
Yeah. So there's a monkey up front. Maybe we'll see how this goes. And I'm kind of scared to let him have my mat, like get my mat close to him. But maybe we walk over there at near the end and we check out the monkey up front.
Do you know if he's nice yet?
I asked. I said, "Is it a nice monkey?" And they said, "Make sure you stick your wrist out, first."
So you can smell
Don't
it?
Up to him, yeah. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, he's pretty tame. So these people they use him to climb trees and collect coconuts.
Really?
What?
So how's the coconuts compared to Costa Rica's coconuts?
Not as sweet.
Really?
Mm.
Is that how
Yeah.
they describe it? Is there a guy sitting on the corner chopping them up?
Yeah, they still have all that. They have the same thing, man. Guys chopping up, selling coconuts.
The same thing.
Yeah, dude, it's the same, man. It reminds me so much of Central America. It's unbelievable. I mean, same trees, Costa Rica had a lot more wildlife than this place seems to have, like a lot more variety and bigger. Like everything in Costa Rica was a lot bigger than it is here. But
You were saying the bugs and shit?
yeah, like the bugs in Costa Rica are like the size of your face. Here they're almost the size of your hand. So it's like they're still big, but yeah, it's a little different.
I don't know if you remember, but when I was down there, I was sleeping on Joe's fucking floor. So I was getting cut all night. I was getting bit the fuck up, and I was just a big pale dude with a bunch of red dots all over his skin, walking through Puerto Viejo.
That actually, yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, that's probably why you're so comfortable there, because you prepared yourself for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, luxury's nice. We moved into this place, and it's got air conditioning and Wi-Fi and cable and stuff. And,
Wow, see,
and,
that's clutch.
yeah, dude. So I'm kind of like, dude, I'm a dirtbag, man. I can sleep on the floor, on the side of the street,
right
in a
on.
park. It doesn't really bother me. But man, when you have a nice place, it's like so sweet. Like last night was so sweet. It's my first night here, so I was just like, I'm the king, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how
that's
big
a
is that
beautiful
place
thing.
inside? Do you have like a living room, or it's just like a bedroom?
No, it's just like one big bedroom. I'll take some pictures of it, but I had all my shit scattered everywhere. That's why I haven't posted any. But it's just one big room and a separate bathroom and a separate little kitchen. But, for
That's all you
me,
need.
that's all I need,
You're
man.
a king. You're a king.
I can't.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
So I wanted to ask you, getting started off here,
All right.
how did this whole journey start? I'm talking before Costa
wow.
Rica.
Oh,
How you
going
made
back.
your original money?
All right. So what I did, I basically, someone told me, and I always kind of believed in them as an artist and stuff. They said, do what you love. Follow what you love. So this is what I did. This is the most important advice that I've done, or I've followed. So I was an artist. I was an artist in high school. I started drawing. I was just always drawing in my notebook, Then I took some acid, and I discovered Salvador Dali. And I said, holy shit, that guy draws the shit that I see. And I want to be able to do that. So that was about 17. So then I just decided I was going to be the greatest artist of all time. And I was going to be better than Salvador Dali. And then as I got older, I got a lot more respect and a lot more humble about that. But I started following this, and I started working at a T-shirt company. This is in like 1990, right? Or like 1991 is when I graduated. So like 1991, and right about this time, So I was working on T-shirts, doing artwork, doing freelance work, but I was one of the only people who knew how to use a Mac and a PC at the same time, right? The people that worked in an office would send me...
Clutch skill in 91.
Yeah, right? I was kind of like really lucky. My timing was really lucky. So anyway, I was one of the only people that knew how to use a Mac and a PC. So people that worked in an office would do their graphic files on a PC, and they would send it to us to make a T-shirt out of it, and I would have to take it on a Mac and make separations and do the color separation and do the illustrations on a Mac. So then this thing called the Internet came out, right? And I was the only dude who knew how to use a PC and a Mac at the same time. So all of a sudden I became a web designer and a graphic designer just because everybody wanted a web page, and then I was just discovering there was no CSS, JavaScript wasn't even there, it was just HTML. So it was really easy for me to pick up, and then I really started making some money all of a sudden. I was like, wow. So it was through, and I was still doing my art. So it was following my art all of a sudden started really leading me into some cash. And so then I moved to Seattle, and the .com boom was going on. My ex-wife worked for Boeing, so we moved to Seattle, and that's the reason I moved up there. But then they had this whole tech thing going on, so the whole .com bubble was just starting. So I was really fortunate that I started working for places that did automation for Microsoft. Like we did like graphic design, we automated some box shots and stuff. Excuse me. So I started working there, and then so right around the .com boom in Seattle, everybody that worked for a software company that was smart went and worked for a .com. So everybody from Microsoft was going to work for .coms, everybody for Adobe. And I was working at a .com, and I saw the pay. I was like, this thing is never going to pay off. Like, we don't make enough to be worth anything, really, So I had a friend that went to Adobe, and he said, hey, man, dude, this place, everybody's leaving this place. This is a great time to get a job here, and plus they're paying heavy stock options and heavy bonuses to get people to come on board, And Adobe at the time had $1 billion cash in the bank, so it was no brainer. So I had been using Photoshop. I loved Adobe and all that stuff. So this is 2001, I believe. I have to check the exact year, but you can look at it on the stock market graph. So I was hired on December 1st, but my official start date at Adobe was January 1st. Well, this year, the stock market crashed and the bubble burst, the internet bubble. And when I locked in, man, I locked in with more stock options than any of my other friends because there were people to work there. And I got them locked in at it was like $5 or something. And it went up to like $70 eventually.
Oh,
right?
my God. I can't.
Oh, no.
Seems that we have lost.
Hello?
And we're back.
Okay.
Back.
Sorry.
We're good.
So, did you get the end of that? Did you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. No, finish that.
Where did that stop?
You were riding at $5.
Yeah, so man, so the stock, I got all this shit locked in, and I don't have a college degree. I was just an artist that was hacking that code, And so all my stock options locked in at $5 or something, and then within 3 months they had already tripled. They had lost all their money, they had got their value back. So I was one of the newest employees, but I still had this big pile of fucking money that was bam, just graced on me, right?
Right off the bat.
So I spent 6 years working at Adobe, and they also had a savings plan, and then they offered me an incredible salary. So I took half my salary and invested it back into the company. So basically, it was Adobe stock made me a lot of money. So then I had a nasty divorce, about 6 years into working at Adobe, and I just decided that I had worked that hard, and that was the reward that I got. My life was falling apart. I was like, fuck this system, fuck all this money, fuck being a slave. I was so done. So and I was pretty depressed and heartbroken about my fucking and all that.
Of course.
And then I discovered Blow.
Seattle?
I'll smoke a cigarette on that one.
Is this in Seattle?
In Seattle, yeah. Some friends, man, introduced me. They were like, man, you're feeling down. Blah, just take a little too. And I was like, no, man, I don't do that shit. And I was 33 at the time, and I had never touched Blow. Everything but Blow, pretty much, or heroin at that time. And they're like, dude, it's no problem. It's okay, man. So I took a little toot, And it felt really good. It was kind of like being stoned, man. I had like a nice body high. I didn't feel like some crazy, man. I was like, oh, this isn't really that bad, man. This is pretty mild drug. I don't see what everybody's talking about. Oh, man. To catch up with me 5 years later with no money and my nose is all fucked up, dude.
Oh, no.
The devil. Like, I really did learn my lesson about blow, man. Blow. Stay away. It's fucking dangerous. Yeah.
So what was the trigger? When did you originally go down to Costa Rica?
I really liked Latina women, dude. You know? Like the beach. I always wanted to live on a beach. And at the time I was flying airplanes. I had a little ultralight airplane of my own, a little trike, Airborne X. It's like a two-seater, 3 wheels and a hang glider on the top.
Okay.
And so my dream when all that shit fell apart is I want to go to Costa Rica and I want to fly this on the beach with tourists, you know? I had my pilot's license, so I was like, that's what I'm going to do, man. So on the internet, I just saw some guy, dude, that had a school and a tour business with ultralights. And so I wrote him, and I was like, hey, man, you know, I'm a software engineer. I fly recreationally. I'm dropping out of the United States. I'd like to come down there and fly with you for a while. And he said, come on. So, and it was fucking great. Then I realized I like to party and drink more than I like to fly.
Yeah, of course.
I had to be sober, man. I had to be sober in the morning. I couldn't smoke a joint in the morning. I wasn't smoking in the morning. So I was sober until the sun went down. And then once the sun went down, I could let loose. But I was like, fuck that, dude. I stay around here all day. I can't smoke a joint.
That's rough, man.
Wait,
That's rough.
did you ever smoke a joint while you were flying?
Yeah. One time when I was by myself, actually.
I would, fucking A.
This is why I don't smoke a joint before I fly. It's pre-flighting the airplane is very important, man. And so, like, I pre-flighted the airplane, I thought. So then I smoked a joint, and this is in Costa Rica, so I went for a flight around by myself, stoned up in Costa Rica. So I ran the airplane, I took off. I'm fucking the gas cap is off of the gas tank, and there's fuel flying through my propeller.
Oh my god!
And dude, I was like, so after that, I was like, never smoke again.
Oh, no.
That's so ridiculous.
Details. It's all about the details.
Oh god!
You missed some of those details.
Well, I'm glad you were safe.
Yeah.
Great stories, Billy. Great stories.
So how long did you do that for in Costa Rica?
I did that for about 6 months.
Okay.
And then I just started really partying hard, man. And I didn't like the place I was living. I mean, I liked the place. It was very natural, but it was like there weren't enough people there.
It wasn't Puerto Viejo, right?
I was single, so I felt really lonely in the jungle.
Huh.
So I basically just started snorting blow and hanging out with hookers.
Yeah. Are you talking about Puerto Viejo?
No, that's before Puerto Viejo.
Oh, okay.
More hookers in Puerto Viejo.
What town was that in?
This is in Samara on the Pacific coast.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
Rica.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like a little surfer village.
Uh-huh.
But like, it wasn't popular. So like, it was only the locals and a few dropouts that lived there. A big German community.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, lots of Germans, man. I love it. I do find that, man. They get government money and they're all over.
Yeah, can you elaborate on how that works? And if you're from Germany, you get like a monthly allowance, or?
Yeah, if you don't work, man, you go to the, you know, it's like kind of like welfare, you know, socialism. But you go there, they give you like, you know, $1,000 a month.
What?
So, yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be in Germany and you're supposed to be looking for a job,
right.
But man, I've met over 100 people that I know that have like, they go there, like fly there, go to the interview, say, oh yeah, I've been looking for work, get some money, and go back. And there's a few here too, so.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's like the Joe Carlino method too.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much what he did too.
Is there a time limit on that?
Not really.
No.
They're called heartsease. It's like, you know, I don't know what they call it. What do they call them in the United States? I don't know.
Joe was just on unemployment and got it automatically deposited to his fucking account.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't seem like. And if you have a baby in Germany, they pay you for 2 years and don't ask you any questions.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it, just straight up, like here.
Extra money. I think it's extra money too.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Jeez.
Fucking socialism.
So how did you make your way to Puerto Viejo?
So I took a motorcycle. So I had a motorcycle when I was down there, like a Honda 400 Enduro, and I love motorcycles. I love motorcycle
me too,
trips.
man.
So, and I'd never really been on a trip, and I was like, fuck, I want to go all the way around Costa Rica. So I made a loop all the way around Costa Rica, went all the way down south, the Osa Peninsula, cut across the center, went up to the top and the north on the east, and then I made my way to Puerto Viejo. Wow. And everybody I met was like, dude, you need to go to Puerto Viejo. Go to it's called Rockin' Jay's Hammock Hostel. Go there, and you're never going to want to leave. So, like, the last stop on my trip, so I'd made a complete loop, and my passport actually expired in 3 days. So I was going to stop in Puerto Viejo, or my visa, not my passport. Right. So I was going to stop in Puerto Viejo and then go to Panama to get my visa stamp. Right. And man, I laid in Rocket Jay's hammock for 45 days. Man, there were so many beautiful girls.
Yeah. 45 days.
That's great. Yeah, so I ended up, it was okay. I had to bribe somebody and shit to get it fixed. But yeah, I couldn't leave, man. It was a vortex. Totally had me.
Ah, the vortex, yes.
We felt it for a few weeks. You were in Puerto Viejo for how long?
Like 4.5 years.
4.5 years?
That's why I don't have 4.5 years. That's why I have money, man.
You were living life though, man. That was great.
Yeah, man, it was classic shit. But
come on, man. You're always gonna look back on that fondly, definitely.
Would you go back? Will you ever go back?
I can't go back now, man, because of the cocaine. Like,
yeah.
If somebody puts a line of cocaine in front of me, I'm gonna snort it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I snort it, I'm gonna go buy more, and I'm gonna go crazy, and I don't like that guy. The only way I know is to stay away from it.
Right.
Because I went back, I went away from it, and then I came back, and then within a week, it was back to the same old crazy.
Damn, man. So, like, all right.
It's so cheap down there, and everybody has it. So even if you're like, oh, I'm not gonna buy any blow. Dude, people just, it's like candy. It's free, you know.
You can't avoid it.
Too available. So if you have like a nose candy problem, this is not the place to go.
Stay away.
Waste all your money. I spent probably $200,000 out there.
Oh my god, that's insane. I remember it was $7 a gram, something like that.
$7 a gram.
It was
off the brick.
Yeah, off the brick. Exactly. It's ridiculous. 1,400 colones, I think, per gram. That's $7, no?
$7, yeah.
I'm sorry to talk about it. I know. It's real.
Okay, man. I don't miss it at all, man.
Good.
I'm like much better now.
Good.
You seem it, man.
Yeah, you look great, brother, man. You look great.
I feel on top of the world, man. As long as I can start making some money eventually. But, the universe has been taking care of me all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have run out of money a long time ago, but
you have not.
I still
You're still there. You're still here, man.
Now I'm in Thailand. So.
Oh, man. When did you meet Mon Pa Dope for the first time?
So that was I met him my first visit when I went to when I was on that hammock for 45 days. One of the reasons that I didn't leave. Yeah, man. The first time I met him too was great. So I had taken this acid, man. I had stumbled onto a space cowgirl. So I don't know if you guys know what space cowgirl is.
Yes, we do.
These girls who travel around and look like hippies, and they carry glow sticks and face paint, and they're always juggling shit.
And drugs.
These girls always have LSD. I learned this from Joe Carlino. Yeah. Let's go ask that space cowgirl. Sure enough, she did, right? So I took this really great acid, man, and I walked around Puerto Viejo, and I was just having this whole god-devil trip in my head, and I was really just in a funk, man. It wasn't going, my trip wasn't going well. So then I went out behind Rockin' Jay's, man, and I sat on the beach, and it looked like a Salvador Dali painting. There was a desk, like a broken desk, and an office chair on the beach. It was really weird, man. What is this over here, you know? Like a real fancy dance, too, you know? So I sat there and I had this conversation with God, you know. I was like, you know, why suffering and what am I supposed to be doing and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I come walking in the back gate of Rockin' Jay's and there's this hippie man sitting there, this loincloth on, right? And then his balls get warm in the sun. And he said, I can't remember exactly, I haven't written down to it, but I can't remember exactly, but he was like, hey man, you look like you could use a joint. And I had just had the fucking most intense acid trip ever. And I was like, walked back to my parents, like, oh my God, what was that? And so I sat down, and he's like, hey, come sit down. And he rolled me a joint.
Yeah.
Like, these are shit cakes I grow in Wisconsin. I take the blah, blah, blah. It was a mix of like weed and homemade hash.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Yeah. Oh, like, dude, you're bringing drugs into but so he rolled me a joint and he was like, yeah, my name is Paul Doe. Yeah, of course, dude, you are Paul Doe. Yeah. Paul Doe before.
On that fucking back porch, man. I love that back porch.
Yeah, man, so many good times on that porch. So many like good people passing through there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Jay took it. It's gone now? No, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's gone. I don't know. I think
it's we moved back from the beach.
Really? Oh.
Hold on 1 second. Did we lose you?
To the beach.
1 sec.
What's that?
Technical difficulty.
Yeah. I think you got me. I see your eyes blinking.
All right, good.
Yeah, we're good.
Sorry about that. For those that don't know, Ma and Pa Dope are two of the greatest human beings that have ever existed on this planet.
And rock and roll archivalist.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Yes.
When Joe and I went to stay with them in Wisconsin at their house, it was like I learned more about music in that week than I've ever learned in my life.
Sure.
Me too. He's like, sit down here, Loveless. We're gonna watch all of these.
Oh my God, I know.
And they're all burned, right? Aren't they all burned?
Yeah, he's got a nice catalog though. It's like all organized nicely.
Have you talked to Mom and Pa recently?
I do. I mostly do chat, man, on Facebook. I talk to them every day on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, man, it's weird. I don't do Skype. I'm seeing myself down there in the little fucking corner.
Yeah, us too. This is the first time we've done like a Skype podcast. It's awesome.
But everybody's like, the other thing too, man, I have a phone for 7 years, man. So when I left the United States, I was like, I don't want anybody fucking calling me, man. Like when I'm like in doing my thing, I don't want to have to ever pick up the phone and be like, huh?
Yeah. It's the worst, man. I have it everywhere.
Yeah, right? So I lose them too, man, because I was a major alcoholic. So every time I would buy a phone, I would only have it for a week anyway. So I was like, fuck this phone idea, you know? But yeah, it's weird. You guys are like, hey, let's do a call. I'm like, shit, man, I don't really talk on the phone, bro. I don't know if I could do this. I was actually pretty nervous.
Whatever. It's not a big deal.
So I wanted to ask you,
I'm just glad to see you.
How did you get... You were left Puerto Viejo for the first time and went back to the States.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? Why did it happen?
Why did it happen? What happened was... a funny story. I had bought an ounce of cocaine, and I was going to sell it to my friends or some of the tourists that were coming through just to kind of try to make some money so I wasn't spending my savings, right? Mm-hmm. Horrible idea, man. Like, I can't handle an ounce of cocaine. So basically, really bad idea. So basically, I locked myself in my house for at least a week, snorted almost all of it.
Oh my God.
Then I was at Rockin' Jay's, man. I was in the recording studio. We built this recording studio there that you guys know about.
The Ark.
And the Ark, yeah. It's cool. The recording studio at Rockin' Jay's Ark. I think it's still there, people.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it is.
Yeah, we built that.
Built by Loveless himself.
Yeah, exactly. But man, I had gone up to the reception area, and man, I have these religious experiences. You know, when I start hallucinating and stuff, like when I take acid or mushrooms, I get like connected to the source, and I hear voices of God and the devil and shit. It's really weird, you know. But it's really every time I get, you know, where I'm like on the other side, like I hear voices of big things,
right?
You know, telling me what to do. So
right, you're not alone.
I was there and I snorted all this blow. Well, I started having a heart attack. I was up in the lobby, and the voice told me, it's like, help Hobson, the security guard. He was loading the Cokes in the refrigerator, and the voice said, you know, if you love people, you should try to help them. So I was like, oh, I'll try to help Hobson with Cokes. Well, I was carrying this big crate of Cokes, man, and my chest was like starting to seize up, and my arm went and I was like, oh shit,
no.
my heart attack. But I was so high, nothing hurt, so I don't know if I actually did. You know, so,
You just kept going, right?
yeah, my body was completely numb.
Oh
right?
my god.
So then I started freaking out, and then I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I started hearing this big devil voice, man. I call it the big devil, right? And for me, it's real, this devil, man. The God is the devil. At least at this point in my life, God was a devil. And man, he started telling me, he was like, get the fuck out of Puerto Viejo. And it's like this outside voice, dude. It's really fucking loud, and it's like mean like that. It's like, right?
Oh, shit.
Get out of Puerto Viejo. I was like, fuck, man. So I tried to pay Hobson. I was like, dude, I had a wad of hundreds. I was like, I'll give you $400, dude. Drive me to San Jose. Get me on an airplane so I can go see my mom. I was like, I gotta go see my mom, man. Because if I die, I want to go see my mom. And so, yeah, so he just looked at me like I was completely fucking nuts. I was like, whatever, dude. And then I got like $400 on the hood of his car, and he's like, what are you doing, man? Speak English, you know? So then I took the money, and then I was like, well, fuck, I gotta get out of here. And the voice said, you get off my fucking beach, you know? And I was like, okay. And it's like, you keep walking. You walk to Limon, and when you get to Limon, you walk to San Jose. And I was like, fuck, okay. And then this voice starts telling me, you need to find a place to die. You're going to die today. Find a place to lay down. So then I walked out to the beach. I found me a nice spot. I laid down, and then the voice says, get the fuck off my beach. Here. So then I'm like, fuck, dude, what do you want me to do? Lay down or walk? And it's like, start fucking walking, right?
Oh, man.
So then I'm starting to walk toward Limon, dude, after being awake. I still have like 3 grams to blow in my pocket and my passport. I'm just like, I'm walking. I don't even have shoes on. But I'm going to the States, man. I'm walking to the States.
Walking home.
Because the devil told me to do it. So I'm walking along, dude, and I make it right at Black Beach, right where Crack Bridge is.
Yeah.
Start toward Black Beach.
Yeah.
And then this voice says, I mean, if you love it here so much, Loveless, why don't you pick up some fucking trash? And I was like, I promise I will pick up trash. And it said, no, do it now, motherfucker. And I was like, yes, sir. So I started picking up fucking trash, dude, on Black Beach. Man.
Oh my god.
I had my arms, dude, like full of trash. And, like, I put one on top and shit drops out the bottom, but I'm still picking it up. And I'm still walking to Limon, man. So then Eric comes up on this motorcycle. Pulls up next to me, and he's like, Loveless. Boom! Knocks all the trash out. Fuck you doing, man? It's like, the voice told me to pick up trash. He's like, get on the back of the motorcycle. So I was like, alright. And Eric's great for taking care of people in a chef and stuff, and it's good heart, you know. So he brought me to his house, man. He got me some breakfast, put some chocolate milk in me, and gave me like 2-3 Valiums or something.
Key.
Like, just go to fucking sleep, man.
Yeah.
And then so I said, alright, but Eric, I love you, man. If I die, tell my mom I love her.
Man.
So then the next day, man, like I passed out, and as soon as I woke up the next day, I was like, let's get me the fuck out of here.
Wow.
As soon as I was spearheaded, I paid a taxi to drive me all the way to San Jose. I spent the night in a titty bar with Eric, and then snorted as much blow as I possibly could. Even on the way to the airport, I was snorting fucking cocaine. By the time I ended up at my mom's house, I was like a fucking tweaked out. Like, my mom was like terrified. She said, if you ever come back to my house like that, I'm either checking you in rehab or calling the police.
Wow.
Pretty ugly.
Oh man.
So how long ago was that?
Shit, I don't know. How long ago was that? That was 3 years ago.
So that all transpired in like a 3-day period?
Yeah, but it had been good. Like, I had been hearing, I still hear voices ever since.
Yeah.
I still hear fucking voices. They're not as loud as they used to be, but I don't know what the blow did to my brain, but it opened up a voice hole. It's really aggravating because they're always talking, man. I never get in. But yeah, it was like a spiral of, like, the 6-month spiral, man. It just started getting worse.
Yeah.
You know, a friend of ours shot himself.
Yeah.
It just started getting worse. And then that was the thing, man. Even though it was completely torture for me to do it, because I would hear these voices and this paranoia would take me over, I still had this crazy addicted drive to still go buy more. I was going through hell, but I was putting myself through it, and and I consider myself a strong, smart Jedi, but that shit was like my kryptonite, man. It just fucking completely stole me. You know?
That would be torture to me, like knowing that you're driving yourself into the fire and you can't like stop it. It's driving fucking crazy. Wow, yeah, you can't hit the fucking brakes. Yeah. I remember we were. I'm not gonna say victim of your paranoia, but we were definitely like towards the beginning of that. Because I remember you slamming me out of a room. You and Joe were in a room and just got a fresh package. I tried to go in. You're like, no. It was at Sabkuch Milega. What was her?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Sabkuch Milega.
Sabkuch Milega with Daniello. Is that his name? The Italian people?
Yeah. I remember this night. Sorry about this. I was a monster.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
It's all right.
I remember that. Oh crap.
Do you think that you're a better person for having lived through all that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I learned a lot about myself, and I also, I like to push myself. I mean, luckily I lived through it, so, now I can just look back on it as a great learning experience about drug addiction, now I see people that walk down the street and talk to the fucking sky, man. Dude, they're hearing something. I heard it when I was fucked up. Before I became fucked up like that, I just thought those people were crazy. I was like, look at that crazy guy talking to the sky. Dude, now that I've been one of those people, I'm like, dude, there's like, those people are hearing shit. I feel bad.
They're really hearing it. Yeah, wow. Dang.
It's outside too. It's these auditory hallucinations that happen outside, man. And,
it's gotta humble you in a way, I mean, it brings you to everyone's level, and no matter where you are in life, like you're super low, or like you could know how someone's feeling. Yeah.
Sure, and I was really arrogant and naive and young when I started this whole journey and dropping out of society kind of thing, and cocaine. And, I was like, I'm fucking rich. I am a programmer. I work for you.
You're invincible.
I thought I was hot shit, dude. Yeah. And this is the only thing in my life that really brought me to my knees, many times brought me to my knees and said, oh my God, like, please just let me live tomorrow. Please let me live tomorrow. Please don't take me right now. It's the only time. So, it did really. That's why I don't want to go, I can't go back to Central America at this point in my life. I maybe have kids after 10 years or something. Yeah. But, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So,
completely weak.
How did I was gonna say, how did you meet Marie? But I really want to know about the motorcycle trip. Is really what I want to get into.
Yeah, so this kind of leads into all that shit. So the recording studio that we had, it was a free recording studio for all the Jedis that came through Puerto Viejo and Rockin' Jays, and we wanted to record them because I know some of these kids are going to be famous. They were just
eventually, right?
People, and I just wanted a little piece of them. Yeah. So when I get famous, I could be like, hey, I got a song from them too.
Side note, I went to a festival and I saw the special and I hung out with the dudes at the music festival. It was in upstate New York.
Yeah. Remember those guys?
Yeah, those guys are cool. Yeah.
They're badass, man.
Yeah, they were.
Totally. Yeah, Jedis for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue.
So I had this recording studio, and then and man, I was even posting on Facebook. I was posting videos on Facebook saying, someone please get me the fuck out of Puerto Viejo because I'm going to die here because I can't stop snorting cocaine. And nobody really came and got me. They're like, well, fuck you, we've already...
Oh, shit, man.
But, and so I just felt like if I didn't get out of there within the next 3 months, I would be dead. Wow. So I became desperate, and then I wished for Marie. I manifested this girl Marie that is now my girlfriend and with me in Thailand. We've been together for a few years now, almost a few years now, 2 years. I said, because I had this East German girlfriend before, and I was like, man, I could really use an East German girlfriend. East German's really good at handling shit, man. Handling money, handling people. They're good at handling shit. And she was, so I met her and I was like, wow. And she wanted to do a motorcycle trip through Central America, and she loved motorcycles. And who doesn't love a girl who loves motorcycles?
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah, so I was like, right on,
And I was like, dude, if you pay me to I will pay you if you just get me to the airport and get me out of Central America, get me back to the United States. So he was like, okay, well, I want to go trim some weed in California. So I was like, cool, I want to go trim some weed too. She's like, yeah, you make $10,000 in a couple months. You know, I was like, oh, sweet. She's like, and just sit up on a mountain with no expenses. So, and then you can go somewhere else. So. So she had been deported. So previous to this, like, it was a one-night stand we had. And then she flew to the States with her dogs. And then they told her she couldn't get in the States because she had been there before and worked illegally or something. Okay. So her dogs went to Arizona. She got back to Costa Rica. So I was like, fuck, Marie's back. So then we made this plan to get me out of there. So I paid her a trip so we said, okay, you can't get in through Houston. We'll go to Canada. We'll go to Vancouver, BC, and then try to get across there because Canadians are pretty laid back.
That's right.
Walk right on through, you know? No, it didn't happen, man. So we got to BC. We tried to make the border crossing, and they said, no, you can't go into the United States. So I was like, fuck, what are we going to do? So she was like, well, I want to go back to Germany, renew my work. And so she's like, I'm going to go back to Germany. And then I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. I'm probably going to buy a motorcycle, and I want to drive to New York. I was going to come see you guys in Feather. Like, that was the plan. So I get to Seattle. I start shopping around for a motorcycle. And, man, I find the sweetest Harley Davidson. So
yeah.
When I was in Puerto Viejo, all these guys that rode big BMWs and these big touring bikes and everything,
I remember them.
Every single one of these guys said, if I would have done it again, I would have rode a Harley. It was like, because they said, I haven't been on dirt roads the whole fucking way, you know? And it's like, and my ass hurts every day I get off this bike. They're like, I would have bought a Harley, and I would have ridden a Harley instead. So I came across this great deal on a Harley 1200 Sportster, like anniversary edition.
Perfect.
And it was like $2,500.
Oh, what year?
I only had 7,000 miles on it.
What year was it?
1998.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, totally chromed out and pretty good. The reason I got it so cheap is somebody didn't pay their bill for this contractor, and he had repossessed it. So I got really,
Wow, that's like, a steal, man.
Yeah, it was mint, you know. And I had never had a Harley before, so all of a sudden I was like, wow.
Love it.
It's a glorious feeling, isn't it?
Or it's fucking special.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
You know?
I agree.
So I got this Harley, and I planned on going from Seattle. I'd already done, a couple years back, I rode a KLR 650 Kawasaki from Atlanta to Key West to Seattle. So then I wanted to go see you guys and see Feather. So I was going to go to New York. So I bought this Harley, and I still had about $7,000-8,000 in my bank account, my checking account. I was going to go to New York, and I start heading that way, and snowstorms just start bam, 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 and they just start going south and south, and I'm like, fuck, I'm trying to drive around them. While driving around them, I did the Pacific Coast Highway, just for the record, did the Pacific Coast Highway, incredible on a Harley Davidson, awesome experience. But I ended up in Arizona, and then Marie had flown to Mexico, and she's like, fuck going to New York, come meet me in Mexico, and I'll buy a motorcycle, and we'll go to Costa Rica. And I was like, all right. I was like, this is a really good idea. So I get to like El Paso or something, and get the bike all fixed up and shit. And one thing is, for the record, I didn't have a valid driver's license at the time. My license had expired like 3 years ago, and I never had a valid motorcycle license. I never had a motorcycle license.
Yeah, that's like 50% of us,
all
man.
over the fucking world, right? So I get to El Paso, and then there's Juarez, Mexico. It's supposed to be like the most dangerous city, and one of the most dangerous cities in the world because of the drug laws and stuff. So, man, as I'm like driving there, all these people are telling me these horror stories. You're going to go to Juarez, Mexico. They're going to kill you, blah, 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 you know.
Jesus.
You're going to get shot, and they're going to take that Harley away from you. And I was like, I don't care, man. I'm going to do it. Fuck it, you know. So it was great, man. Going into Mexico, dude, they didn't check nothing. They didn't check my passport. They didn't check my It was just some dude, like, half asleep in a booth, man. He at me when I went by and gave me a thumbs up on the bike, you know. I was like, nice Harley.
Oh, my God.
So I get there, we try to buy
Just like, good.
Yeah, just go in, man. Like, how are they going to know if I'm in here? So if you're a criminal, just go through Juarez, they don't give a fuck. But So we got in there, and then and we tried to buy her a bike. She wanted me to go back across the border and buy her a motorcycle in Arizona and then ride it, but it just didn't work out. And I was like, fuck it, just get on the back and let's go. Poor girl, man, on the back of a Sportster.
Yeah.
Place. And we had I had a backpack on the front, she had a backpack, we were fucking loaded down.
Yeah, poor you too, man. Jeez.
But we just started making it south, man. And
that's right.
Dude, people were so fucking nice.
Yeah.
Man. There's such a myth about
you were telling us how you were heading down into Mexico. You just got on the Sportster, and you were heading into Juarez.
Right. All right, so let me see if I can catch back up where I was. All right, so I bought this Harley Davidson. I was meeting this girl, Marie, in Mexico. She wanted me to get her a bike, and it just didn't work out. So I went ahead and crossed into Mexico, and it was a funny thing, too. Before I went to Mexico, I bought a bunch of weed in Seattle, some really good kind bud, right? And so I smoked it, right before I crossed the border, because I didn't want to cross the border with any drugs on me. And when I did ride across the border, there's just some Mexican dude asleep in the booth, man. And he didn't check my shit or anything. He's just like, "Come on through, man." And I was like, "Oh, great! I should have kept my weed." But
was that easy?
So I met up with Marie in Juarez, and so she didn't get a bike, and she just ended up being on the back of my bike. But one of the things is everybody told me just how we were going to die. When I was in Texas, they're like, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Oh, I'm trying to go to Panama." And they're like, "You're going to get killed in Mexico. Juarez is the worst city in the world. People get murdered all the time, blah, blah, blah." Man, since I crossed the border from the United States into Central America, people just got nicer. Everybody was, because they're a lot simpler, man. They don't have a lot, they're not greedy, and, they're not materialistic. So I found everybody through Mexico, really helped us out, man. All the way down, man. We had no trouble, no accident, no police trouble, no criminals, no theft, no nothing. So,
nobody
thank you,
on
Central
the
America.
For stupid stuff, right? Oh, man.
But all right,
awesome.
So the goal was to get to Costa Rica, Puerto Viejo, back to the Vortex for my birthday, my 40th birthday.
That's right.
But we had some traveling we wanted to do first, and it was always a ride that I wanted to do. So we headed from Juarez. We went to Chihuahua, down the Caribbean coast, and we were going to the Rainbow Gathering for the End of the World Festival for the end of the Mayan calendar thing, right? But the funny thing is, man, we get to Mexico, we're riding, and then we try to get some weed, man, and dude, I couldn't get weed all the way through Mexico. Not until I got to the Rainbow Gathering, or the city before the Rainbow Gathering, was I finally able to score a little tiny brick of ditchweed, Colombian brickweed, or whatever.
So nobody in Mexico.
The whole story with that, the whole kind of event for me was wow, Mexico kind of introduced marijuana to the United States. It's pretty much legal in the United States. Now I'm in Mexico and I can't find any marijuana, man. It's what the fuck, So we get to this Rainbow Gathering. Where is it? I forget. I still forget where it was. Rainbow Gathering. That's right on tip. Anyway, so there's this Rainbow Gathering out on the field for the End of the Mayan calendar and stuff, and we go check it out. And man, it's hippies everywhere. Just everybody's running around naked and shit. I don't know, man.
Real true hippie.
I'm kind of a hippie at heart, but I don't like swinging my junk around out in the jungle with my guitar and shit. It's just not cool for me. And there's just too many penises in my face. I was like, all right. So, anyway, so it was really cool though, man. This event, the night before the end of the calendar, there was this huge drum circle with maybe 100 drums and big bonfire and stuff. And man, the biggest shooting star, the brightest shooting star I ever saw across the sky. It burned him green. All of a sudden there was this flash of green, and it was at nighttime. And then all of a sudden everybody could see each other, and the drums stopped, and then it went dark again. And then it went bright again, and we saw it streak across the sky, and the whole place went fucking crazy, man. The drums were everybody really started drumming their hearts out, So that was a really cool event. I felt the energy of those kids really kind of made that happen, or there was something mystical to that. And I'm telling you, it was like a bomb went off. It was so bright. It was like daylight and then not daylight.
Do you think those kids?
But yeah, so the funny thing is we went back into town, and because I was like, fuck that, let's leave our shit. Like, I don't want to stay out here, man. This place is too dirty and shit. So we went back, got a hotel room, and the night, man, at midnight on the end of the calendar, me and Marie were out drinking, and I was like, where would be a good place for a devil to spend the end of the world? So we decided a Mexican titty bar. So at the end of the Mayan calendar, while all the hippies are out on the land, me and Marie are at the Mexican strip club. So it was a whole bunch of other Mexicans too, man. It was full.
Perfect place to be.
But
right?
so like right at midnight, man, it just started downpouring rain, man. I mean, like, and just over where that camp was, where the Rainbow Gathering camp was, like you could see it from the city that like just this shit thunderstorm was just pounding these guys. And then in the morning, man, this town was just full of fucking wet, dirty, unhappy hippies, man. And they all had some kind of virus. They were all sniffly and shit. So, I don't know, man, about the Rainbow Gathering, but it seemed to me like the universe was telling them to get the fuck off my land, man. Pretty dirty. But,
do you think those kids are they a positive energy or are they negative? There's got to be some scumbags in the group. I mean, they're all like nomads, right?
Yeah, you know, I felt like a lot of people were there just to experience what it was like to be a hippie in the 60s and do everything that they thought that was, and not really for the experience of a modern-day rainbow warrior. Like, hey, let's get together, let's, like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're wearing fucking tie-dye or what.
Right.
But, like,
just doing it to do it, right?
And a lot of kids, man, a lot of kids, it just seemed like they were spoiled. And, you know, they probably come from rich families.
Of course.
They can do the fuck they want. And, you know, then there was the other people that, you know, were really true to it. But, yeah, I didn't feel like it was for me, man. And I didn't feel like it was the kind of group I wanted to be a part of, you know. I don't like really being part of a group either.
That's true.
Touche. So, when did you finally get to Puerto Viejo?
So I actually got to Puerto Viejo the day before my 40th birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
perfect timing.
Awesome. Yeah,
perfect timing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like perfect manifestation right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it there by my birthday.
I drank a bunch of whiskey and all kind of shit. We ended up getting into an argument, so I slept the whole day of my 40th birthday. So. So
how long did you spend that second time in Puerto Viejo?
I think I was probably down there about maybe 2 months, maybe. Yeah, probably 2 months. And I had tried to get my hard drive back. You know,
jeez.
So.
Let's tell that story without.
Let's be careful when you tell this story, right?
All right, so I don't know. Did I already talk about the recording studio?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys know I had this recording studio that we recorded people for free. It had been going on for almost 2 years at this point. And then I was staying at my friend's house, and he was a big supporter of the studio. He donated guitars and stuff, and he had a cabina, and I was staying over there. His wife was out of town in California, and they were having some trouble or something. But I decided, me and Rocket J decided to go ahead and close down the studio project. I was gonna move on, and I was gonna work on like the next year of my life was gonna be producing the music that I recorded. So anyway, so we're there, and I decided to take the computer from the recording studio to this cabina at my friend's house so that I could work on it in private and have it and everything. Well, so his wife is coming back in town in the next day or two, and he's like, "Hey, Loveless, man. Can you just leave, you know, me and my wife here alone during the weekend, and we can get back, you know, talk to each other and stuff without any distractions, and then come get your shit on Monday or whatever." So I was like, okay, no problem, man. You know, good luck. So me and Marie went to the hostel. We got ourselves a room, and then I forget exactly why, but Marie decided that I guess she knew that something was going to happen to that computer, maybe in her heart.
She felt it.
She felt it, right? So she went to go get this computer back, And I told her, I was like, don't go, man, because like they had a real bad relationship, these two, and they were jealous and all that shit. They were famous around town for being in fights. So I was like, just leave him alone, man. She's a real ball buster, man. His wife. So so leave him alone. Don't do anything, Well, Marie goes out there without me knowing, and like about an hour or so goes by, and then Marie comes in the room and she's like. She's all wide-eyed and freaked out, and I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I did something that you told me I shouldn't do. And I'm like, what did you do? And she's like, I went and tried to get the computer back. And I was like, oh, no, you didn't go out there. And she was like, yeah. I was like, well, what happened? She was like, well, I went out there, and I told her I wanted the computer back. And then his wife threw me down on the ground, told me that she would kill me if it wasn't on their property and all that shit.
Wow,
you tell Loveless that you told me this shit right now. So, man, I was in there snorting a bunch of fucking blow, and I was already paranoid. I didn't want to see anybody. And I was like, oh, fuck, now I got to go deal with this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm all fucked up, not clear-headed at all. So I go out to their place, man, and I, like, knock on the gate, and she invites me in. She's like, oh, come on in, Loveless. And then I see my friend, as I'm walking through the main house, I see my friend over to the right where I was staying, in the cabina that I was staying, standing over there with a T-shirt on and no pants on, with his hands in front of him like a little bunny rabbit. Like, and then she said, you stay. And he did. And I was like, oh man,
my God.
Fuck is going on?
Jesus.
Some trouble. So I sit down to talk to her in her living room and stuff, and she's immediately like, oh, you got some blow? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Here's some fucking blow. Whatever you want. Make yourself happy. And like, I don't know if I got into the whole, my friend's psychological disorders yet, but
Not really.
So before I get to the punch of this story, I gotta back it up with this information. So this guy, man, he called everybody a fucking cocksucker, man. Everybody he met, that fucking cocksucker. And then he used to like there's been several times where he'd get drunk and he would take like a pink umbrella and he would dance through town singing show tunes and shit. So like, there was at one point where I sat down and I was like, hey man, I just your friend, this is between us, man. I mean, are you gay, dude? Like, really, it seems like it, And he was like, how dare you ever accuse me?
Oh, God.
And I was like, man, I'm just trying to help you, man. Like, Mom, I got so many gay friends and stuff. Like, dude, come on, I'm just going to help you. But he was like, no, it was all in my head. I was an asshole, blah, 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 blah. Told everybody in town, too. He's like, Loveless called me gay, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, that was all this other shit. And so I'm sitting there, and I want to tell, all right, so he also has, this dude has this gay hater and this gay version. So after living with him a while, I realized that he's schizophrenic. Like, if you tell gay something, the gay version doesn't know what you told him. And if you tell the gay version, he doesn't know what the gay, you know what I mean? There's a total disconnect.
That's wild, man.
Right.
So I wanted to tell his wife that, maybe he's schizophrenic and he should see a doctor, and I was really worried about him and everything. So I'm sitting across from her, and I say, I'm really uncomfortable talking about my friend right here to you, and I know he's right there, and I would really like to discuss this in private. Boom, man, as soon as I said that shit, those shutters flew open behind her head. He was looking through the window, and he puts his face in. He's like, how dare you, Loveless? I'm going to do ba, 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 ba. I was like, oh, shit, man. So I'm like, Jen, I'm done, man. So I start to make my way out. He meets me at the front door. He's got these two metal poles, man, like the Terminator. Man, he's fucking and he's like swinging them at me, but he's not hitting me. But I'm just trying to be as calm as possible, even though I'm still totally fucked up on blow and shit. And I'm like, oh, just be chill. And I'm like, don't do anything, man. I'm like, just don't do anything, man, And so I backed all the way back out to my motorcycle. I get on my motorcycle, and as soon as I get on my motorcycle, he just goes fucking crazy, and he beats the shit out of my headlight, and my gauges, headlights fall, like hanging off, And I'm just like, fuck, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I start taking off, And then as I'm taking off, his wife tries to stop him, and she's like, "No, don't." And then I just see him fucking clock her in the face. Bam! And she goes down,
no!
cover, and then she's screaming, "Loveless, get the police, get the police!" And I'm like, "Fuck!"
Man.
And now I'm riding my motorcycle in the fucking dark of the the jungle down there. It gets fucking dark, man. And, when the moon ain't out, and it was like this dirt road with like baseball-sized rocks, man, with a creek on the side of it, and power lines too, down power lines that you can really fuck yourself up on. So I tried to make it down the road on the bike, man, boom, in the dark. Finally get to the end of the road. I run to some neighbors. I'm like, "Hey, call the police, blah, blah, blah." All right, the police are like a kilometer away, like maybe half a mile away. It takes them an hour and 45 minutes to get there. So you guys in the United States got problems with your police. Like, these guys don't give a fuck. But anyway, so they get there, and I'm like, "Oh, my friend just attacked his wife. They attacked my motorcycle, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Okay, well, show us the way." And I'm like, "I'm not going back there." They're like, "No, lead us, man." I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a light." And they're like, "Oh, we'll help you out with a light." And they turn on their fucking spotlights, dude. It's like daylight. And they're like, "Oh, okay," and I'm still all fucked up, man. I'm still high. I drank like fucking half a bottle of whiskey, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Now I'm riding in front of the police, So I bring them back up there to the place, and they like go, and then I hear his wife, and she's like, "Loveless, you didn't bring the police, did you?" And I'm thinking, "Fuck, girl, you're the one that told me to bring the police." Right? So then the dude comes, the husband comes out, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck you, Loveless, you brought the police. Loveless doesn't even have his fucking passport, blah, blah, blah." And at that time, I had overstayed my visa for about a year. I was about a year overdue getting my visa. So I had just decided to throw it away. I just threw my passport away. It's like, fuck it. I stayed up there an extra 6 months with no passport, right? So, so anyway, he's telling the police that I don't have my fucking passport, all this shit, and I'm just like, "Oh, this is just not ending up good for me, man." Like, I'm just trying to help, and now all of a sudden I'm in trouble, So the police look at me and they say, "Okay, Diablo." That's Diablo, not Loveless. They're like, "Okay, Diablo." Fuck, man, I got on my bike. I got the fuck out of there.
Wow, they remembered you. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. It's such a small town, you don't realize how much you stand out,
And then like how lucky you are to know people, especially police.
Hey man, here's a trick too. If you live in Central America, what I would do is every few months I would buy the police a case of cold beer, man.
Really? So you've done that, I assume.
Yeah. And the first time I did it, I walked into the police station and they were like, "Oh, no. Put it next to the building."
Oh, shit.
So I put it next to the building, and then I would go say, "Hey, there's beer over there, guys."
Nice, smart.
Did that several times.
So what happened to the hard drive?
All right, so then the next morning, I paid this crazy friend and Marie to go out and get it, to pay for the taxi. I'm like, "Just go get my fucking computer away from those crazy people," all that shit. Well, they go, and apparently they went crazy, and he destroyed the computer and the hard drive, not just the computer. Completely pulverized the hard drive. So they explain, they're like, "Well, he can buy the pieces of it back for $800 or something." And
What?
My pieces? God. Like, what the fuck do you mean pieces? So that's just really. So basically, that was 2 years of my creative life as an artist and a music producer completely erased, man. Completely gone forever. I mean, I have some MP3s and shit that I made, temporarily. But all that work, man, I mean, you guys were on there too. It's like
there was so much. We had a couple songs on there. We had Jay's birthday song.
Oh, so much. So much. Like, just gigabytes and gigabytes. I think it was over 200 gigabytes of shit. So
it's the worst feeling in the whole world, man.
Up.
Yeah, so I had to really. So this trip back to Puerto Viejo was like half the way down, man, on the Harley out in the middle of the desert. I was like, "Don't go back and kill that guy. Don't go back and kill that guy. Kill that guy."
Yeah.
Whatever. Do you know what happened to him? still there? Is he...
So anyway, so I didn't get it back, and there was a little drama and shit. And so I posted on my Facebook, man. I posted on there, and I manifest shit, dude. I'm a manifester.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got magic powers. I can't manifest myself $1 million yet, but
I witnessed it.
You know? So I wrote on Facebook. I was like, I manifest that guy the worst fucking shit that I could ever come up with in my head. And this is the only person I've ever really felt this toward. You know, even my enemies, I just want them to be away from me, not do anything to them. But this guy, I just wanted the universe to fuck him over. And about a week after I posted that, he was in a major motorcycle accident and broke almost every bone in his body. He broke his bone in 27 places.
Jesus Christ.
27 places.
Wow.
But anyway,
where do you go to recover from that in Puerto Viejo? Where do you go to recover from that?
Hospital, man. Yeah, you can. I think he went to the States and he recovered in the States or something. But I don't know, man, because somebody told me they saw him. I mean, people started writing me on Facebook. They're like, oh, shit, I saw
Oh, you said his name.
Whatever.
I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I'll take care of it.
It's what it is, you know. Fuck that guy. But anyway, yeah, so people told me they got really, really fucked up, man. So people were really like, wow, don't cross Loveless, man. He got fucked up with his mind, you know. But
he really is El Diablo, man.
Yeah, man. I'm the lightest of the dark. But yeah, man. So we didn't get that back. And I just had to make peace with it and move forward. Yeah. And, yeah.
Shit. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I know. It's like you feel the energy.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about where you're at now.
So, now I'm in Koh Phangan, Thailand.
Koh Phangan, Thailand.
This place is fucking amazing, man.
Yeah.
You know, when I thought Puerto Viejo was an amazing place, but there was a lot of thieves and criminals and backstabbers, and it's, you know, you felt really tense down there. And I had so much of my shit stolen when I was down there. It wore me out, man. And so, like, I always thought that was paradise. Well, I come here, it looks exactly like Puerto Viejo in the Caribbean. Same kind of beaches and shit. But there's no criminals. There's no cracking. There's no crime, man. And, like, you could basically be a beautiful woman and walk down the beach naked probably at night by yourself and nobody's going to fuck with you. Try that shit in Puerto Viejo, that girl get gangbanged. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, but it's really nice, man. It has so many travelers, so many psychedelic space cowboys, space cowgirls.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and they sell mushroom shakes at the bar. Like,
oh, no way. I heard about that in Thailand, man. Oh, man.
Amazing, man. Like, I took one and went to the waterfall and saw the fucking Buddha, dude. I was like, what the hell? Really awesome mushrooms, man. Yeah.
Well, you and Marie had the same vision, no?
Yeah, both, man. The Buddha in the sky, surrounded by 2 dragons. And then when I closed my eyes, he came down and kissed me on my third eye and said, everything's gonna be okay.
Wow.
See, that is phenomenal.
Yeah. Wow, man. I love that so much.
Right. Yeah, but then the next thing that the voice said, and this was the last thing he said, never let your guard down. Everything's okay, but never let your guard down. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Yeah. It's so true. You know what I was thinking about the other day? You never hear of an ex-Buddhist. Like, nobody's like, oh, I used to be a Buddhist.
Yeah. That's true, man. Really.
Yeah. And nobody has, like, a vision like that and is like, I refuse to believe it. No. Nobody's like, it never happens that way. It's always like, once that happens, it's the rest of your life, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
That's the beauty of it, man.
Yeah, I definitely saw it as an external being.
Yeah.
Like, and, I've tripped a lot, man. I've seen the Godhead and the devil a bunch. But this was a real fucking entity, man, that lives here. You know, he doesn't live in the States, I don't think, because I never saw such a thing, man. But where I went, man, I feel like, wow, like this thing is around here. You know, it's a localized thing. It's not a global thing. Maybe you can access them globally, but
that's where it comes. That's where it comes from.
Man. It's fucking great. The only thing.
You No, go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say, the only kind of downside about Koh Phangan compared to the Caribbean is that live music. There's not a lot of live music here. It's all electronic.
Huh.
Europeans come here and all bump, 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 you know, and
oh man, so you ever?
I missed that part of Puerto Viejo.
Yeah, the live music every night, like a band would come through and just stay for a couple weeks, right? That's so cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Damn. Well, you ever think of like where you are now as a metaphor for where you are in your life?
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you've escaped the whole devil persona and you've moved on to this Buddha persona now, you know?
Once a devil, always a devil, just like Buddha.
Oh, God.
I just try to be a very nice devil and not an angry god, you know? I mean,
yeah.
this is kind of my spin on that whole thing, too. I don't know if I got this on there yet, but my whole spin on that whole thing, you know, like why I identify with the devil is one day when I was really tripping and, you know, going through difficult times, and I saw the truth, man. The truth is that God is a giant meat grinding machine, and and has created evil and created the devil. The idea of the devil was all created by one source. So by default, that would make him the devil, right?
Right.
So if you're like God and you're connected and all that shit, like I say that I am and whatever, we're all one. Well, then that would make you the devil. So you're responsible for everything evil that happens on the planet. If people are getting fucked over, it's your fault for not going there and making it better. It is your responsibility to be the devil. Don't go around thinking that you're God and try not to sin. Imagine that you're the worst creature ever created and try to not be that. Try to be the opposite of that, you know. Amen. To all the other devils.
Wow. Amen, brother. That was awesome.
Just know that you're a fucking demon, man, and you need to keep yourself in check, man.
Oh, man, Loveless. Listen, all right, we got to wrap it up, but we're going to have you back on as soon as possible, man. For sure.
Cool, man. I really enjoyed it.
We love you so much, man. I miss you. I'm glad you're doing well. Hell yeah, man. How can people contact you if they want to contact you?
You can do Facebook. You can look up Art of Loveless on Facebook. I have a website, but I'm too lazy right now. Loveless Art. It'll come up in a couple weeks or so.
All right. Well, when you let us know, we'll post it on our website.
Yeah, man.
But we'll also post some of your art on our website too, man, because I love your stuff.
Cool, man. Yeah.
I do.
Definitely.
I do. If you don't mind, I post a couple pictures. You know, like I'm not gonna.
Awesome, man.
All right, Loveless. Thanks, man. From Thailand, Chris Loveless. I'm Matt Landis.
And I'm Chris Conti.
And we'll take you later.
Peace out.